go over cleaning the brass today. So, when you're working with reloads, one of the most important things you can do is make sure that your brass is well cleaned. And in order to do that, you're going to need a cleaning solution. Something like this will do just fine. I've got a bag of brass here that I've saved, and a storage bag, just cheap storage bag. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm trying to hold this, we're going to put our brass into the storage bag. Once we have our brass in the storage bag, we can then pour in the cleaner for the brass. Now when you're pouring in the cleaner, you don't need a huge amount because you're going to just shake this around a little bit and use it to get all the brass clean. So just enough to maybe like fill the bottom. Maybe a little bit more than that. And technically, you could probably do this in your sink too. They say, and don't say that I mean, I'm not telling you to, but basically then just shake it up real good. And do that for about a minute, and then after you're done shaking it, just pour it out into the drain, and then do it again. And that should get your brass nice and clean. Of course, this isn't quite done yet, but I'll show you the results here in a minute. So here's our nice clean brass. Once it's finished, it'll look very, very nice. And there's a couple ways to do this, but this is the method. If you don't have money to spend, throw it in a plastic bag, shake it around, good to go. There's a couple other methods you can use. Obviously, you can buy the more expensive the tumblers, and they'll shine it up nice for you. And then the other, you can use plastic tray, and then put like a plastic basket, with holes all in it, inside that plastic tray, and just kind of shake it around. And that's another method you can use to get your brass nice and clean. Let's go look at this next to some used brass and see how shiny it is. Here is new brass, the shined brass next to the old brass. And you can see this, the new brass right here versus the old brass does have, it's not really that much of a difference, but the main difference that you're going to notice, it's a little bit lighter in color, and that's what happens when you shine the brass. But what the main difference is on the inside, and that's why you want to clean the brass. Because that gunk on the inside, if you don't get it clean, that residue can backfire and cause you some serious issues that you don't even want to know about. Another question some people might have is, do you need to remove the primers before you wash them? And the answer is no. Some people will argue with me on this, but the answer really is no, because the primers are so tightly fit in there. If you look at it after you really remove the primer, there's very, very little buildup in those primer areas. And the primer is not going to go off because it actually needs a mixture of different powders in order to make it go off. So basically, when a primer gets hit by the firing pin, you're going to have a mixture of two powders that are going to create like steam, which is going to cause pressure inside the brass capsule. And once that happens, another powder is going to drop in, and that powder from the heat of the steam is actually going to catch fire and blow fire forward into the cartridge, and that is what's going to actually ignite the gunpowder inside of the brass. And once that happens, the bullet goes off. So getting the primer out, as far as that goes, I would say that's not needed. So with that said, that is the lesson on cleaning your brass, and I hope that helps you. So if you don't have anything fancy, you don't have a tumbler, you don't have a bunch of equipment, really all you need is a good plastic bag and you're good to go. Thank you. Please subscribe to BallistiXPro and have a great day.